The video? Did they actually tell me?
No.
Son of
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Improperly Packaged, a show where we unbox topics related to movies, TV, games, whatever. I'm Jordan. With me is Luke. How are you doing, Luke?
I am Luke.
You are
Welcome.
you are Luke, aren't you? How's your
You're still Luke.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm still Jordan, Still doing the thing. How's your week been, man?
It's been busy.
A whirlwind of
In a good way. It's been busy.
good.
Yeah.
So you working on your house still, basically
Yep.
remodeling.
Getting close. Almost there.
That's crazy.
The end is in sight.
But has everything kind of been falling into place relatively well instead of, a bunch of
I
hiccups?
think so.
Good.
Yeah. Got some guys, some contractors helping me now they just started at our last episode.
Mm.
It's between like working on this and like Christmas and New Year's and the baby.
God.
Like I'm losing track of what's what and who I am and where I am.
Who am I? There's a lot of that going around. I haven't really left the house and it's been
How you
about
doing health wise?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
You sound good.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. My smell, I like just started to get my smell back where I'm like, I'll put my
Right.
nose like right up to the cup of coffee. I'm like, there's coffee in there. There's coffee in there. It's like not
It's not Coke.
exactly. Well, it doesn't smell like absolutely nothing. It would be like disconcerting.
That's awful.
Something really embarrassing happened. I'm not even sure if I said this last week, but whatever. I'll say it again. Like we had these roll-on oil essential oils or whatever. We're
Right.
basically gonna take the cap off and pour it into the oil diffuser that we have. But whatever. I was like, oh, let me try it. Stress relief, huh? And I was like, this isn't working. Is this not coming at, and I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, I can't smell anything. And Amber was like, Jordan, how much of that did you put on yourself?
So she still never got it, right?
No, at least she's been quarantined with me, but she got it. She's been asymptomatic, so she hasn't.
Heavens to Murgatroyd. Insane.
Yeah, she hasn't gotten a thing. Yeah, and we're pretty close, so that's surprising, but
Yeah.
good. I'm glad she didn't have to have anything, but yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing good. I'm glad to. I'm at the end of the quarantine period tomorrow, so yeah. But I'm doing pretty good. Like surprisingly, like it's kind of strange. Like when you have so much time of nothing, you think you're gonna be like, I'm gonna fill it with all sorts of things that I've been putting off. I'm gonna read this book and I'm gonna write this song and I'm gonna do all. And it was like that, like before I got the thing. But man, it's been a whole lot of nothing, as we'll see throughout my watching / playing. But just a lot of the same stuff. But I'm doing good. Doing good. Spirits.
At least you're feeling better. That's the important part.
Exactly.
Even if you're unproductive, at least you're breathing well and
yeah, to be alive and
starting to smell a little bit.
It's getting there. It's getting.
How's the taste? Is it the same as the smell?
No, the taste. Even when like my smell was at 0, my taste was a little bit there. Like I could tell something was sweet, I could tell something was salty, but like the nuance of the flavor, I would be like, I don't know. I'm sure it's fine, Amber. I'm sure you did a really good job cooking this. I'm enjoying it still. But it's slowly coming back to where I'm like, I can taste the cheese, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's funny, with seltzer water, we drink a lot of like LaCroix and Polar and seltzer water like that. It's funny how much of that is 100% reliant on the sense of smell. I knew about that before because like if you hold your nose and take a sip of a flavored one, you just can't taste it at all. And so it's funny, every single seltzer water, I'm like, this tastes exactly the same. And then like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm drinking the coconut one. I'm like, I think I can taste it, but I'm not sure if it's just my imagination.
Yeah.
I'm trying too hard.
It's such a weird thing.
Yeah. But
I
anywho, yeah.
feel like maybe it's just me, but I feel like those don't taste as much as like the sugary ones.
No, no,
But
no.
I don't know. It's probably just the addiction to the sugar talking.
Yeah, I can tell like hardcore because like there's certain ones that are like I've made the mistake of thinking I'm getting a seltzer water, but I'm actually getting like a seltzer, like a kind of sparkling juice, and
Mm,
it hits me hard. I'm like, all right,
yeah.
seltzer water, here we go. Oh, holy crap! So yeah,
Holy sugar.
holy sugar. But yeah, it's quite the difference. But
Yeah.
anyway, I think we got some stuff to talk about here.
Sure. Make some stuff up.
Might as well. Let's kind of wing it. Um so I think you started last week. So this week I'll start with what we've been watching slash playing slash listening to. So yeah, I haven't been listening to much, Luke. As I said last week, like when I'm at home, I don't listen to as much music, but I have been working from home. So I've been listening to some stuff, but I've been kind of falling back on my laurels, really. But I'm gonna use this time to kind of
Laurels can be good.
yeah, yeah. Uh, there's one album that like I think I've talked about it already, but I'm gonna talk about it again because I think it's probably my favorite album of 2020. I think like, even though 2020 is over, this came out like towards the end. Dude, Rustin Kelly's new album, I don't know why, it just really speaks to me. It's so
He's a bad man.
he is a bad man, but like that I don't know. I'm really into stuff that like is like says has something to say, I guess. Like
Oh yeah.
it's like he's so real with like what he's going through, and it's something that like I don't know, like I've like gotten emotional listening to some stuff, some of the songs where I'm just like, wow, to hear one of the songs where he talks about like how he's gotten clean, to hear him write about that, and it just made me like emotional because I'm like, man, we take our sobriety for granted
Yeah.
almost in the eyes of people who are going
Yeah.
through addiction.
Hmm.
And so like to hear him coming out the other side about like how, wow, I'm like a new person. And it's just like, it's so moving and like, yeah. And not to mention the songs are great. And it's just, the album's called Shape and Destroy. I'm just going to plug it again. I think it's my favorite album of 2020. And it's just, it's so good. Shout out to Rustin Kelly.
I think just because I think that's an important thing, and I'm always it's like you. I think it's good, to have a message, and I think maybe that's something we should address right here. I just think that that is so important. I think people like us, you and I, that's not something that we've really dealt with,
Yeah.
but we've definitely had people around us, and I've had several family members, including my brother, who's really dealt with addiction, and it's yeah. I mean, I think not that I know from personal experience, but I know from secondhand experience that people who haven't dealt with that have no idea, at
Yeah.
all what that is like to be like overtaken by something and controlled by that. I don't know what level he was at, but I know I've seen people who their entire life has been wrecked and spiraled down, and so like yeah, that's something that definitely like speaks to me whenever anyone talks about like how they were able to come out of that, because I think it's like just one of the greatest triumph stories,
Oh my
that and
gosh.
like beating
Yeah.
like something like cancer. It's like those kind of things just like touch me. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
hundred
appreciate you
percent.
pointing that out. It's important.
Yeah, I get sick sometimes. I love pop music, I really do, but sometimes I just get sick of it. Being like, yeah, I mean, this is fun, and I'm really enjoying the song. This is great
Yeah.
and can be clever, but there's something here that, like, every now and then,
How
especially
many
like
times can we talk about sex? I mean,
sex and how much
like
and being
every song,
famous.
ridiculous.
Like when I listen to
Yeah.
like Taylor Swift, there's still something about it where I'm like, I'm sorry, I just don't buy anything you're saying anymore. You're just
Yeah.
in a point where I feel like I mean, I'm sure she does go through stuff, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
like everyone does, whether you're famous or not. But there's something about hearing lyrics that are just kind of so stripped down, and I'm like, this is what people go through, and it's
Yeah.
important to have music like this,
Yeah.
and it's just it really just unveils to me and reminds me the power that music has to let people know they're not alone and to tell their story, and it's good stuff.
And I think it's unfortunate that that music doesn't get uplifted in the charts and in,
Yeah.
popular media. It's like those things about money and sex and, you know, being famous, like you said. It's like those are the things that rise up in the charts, and it's like it's bubblegum, it's cotton candy, it's nothing. It's just
Yes.
it's worthless calories, for your mind. And yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
thank you. It's a good thing to be reminded about. For me, I don't have anything that important.
That's fine.
I actually don't even know what
Taylor
the song's
Swift.
about, but
Just kidding.
no, I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan, honestly. But
Yeah.
OAR is probably one of my favorite like rock bands. They heavily lean into like reggae
Mhm.
side of rock, but I've just from the moment I heard them back in college, I was just like, these guys are for me. I feel like, I don't know, it's hard sometimes to judge yourself, but I feel like I have a very wide expanse taste
Yeah.
in music.
I agree
And
with you. You do.
so I just like so much stuff. Like I'll be listening to blues albums at one moment, I'll go back to like oldies tracks, then I'll go back to like the 30s. But OAR is one of those ones where I don't listen to a lot of reggae. That's one like blind spot for me. But OAR, they just incorporate those reggae themes into the rock so well. Anyways, all that being said, they released a single kind of later in 2020, kind of like Rustin Kelly, called Bad Fish. And yeah, it's a good song. So
Bad Fish. All right, I'll check it out.
if you haven't listened to OAR, anyone out there, like definitely listen to them. Crazy Game of Poker is probably one of my favorite like songs by them. So there's a lot of those pop songs that they have, and I would say those are some of my least favorite songs, honestly. I hate it when these bands that I love, like, these songs come out like Panic at the Disco, I thought was kind of one of those where the songs that like ended up being played on the radio, I'm like, that's not the Panic at the Disco that I know
Yeah.
that like Jordan and I like fell in love with back when we first heard them.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
or even
overly
Fall Out Boy.
produced kind of feel where you're like,
Yeah.
wow.
And Linkin Park kind of became that too.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of OAR that's not Shattered, which everyone's heard on the radio over and over again. Yeah, it's a fine song, but yeah, I would say it's lower on the totem pole of their
Yeah.
stuff. So, what you been watching and / playing?
I haven't been watching much really, man. Like honestly, it's like we're in this weird funk where we haven't been watching like any movies or anything new. We've been watching Dragon Ball Z, which I haven't really talked about this, but like Dragon Ball Z is like it's like it's probably like 50% responsible for the rise in popularity of anime in America, along with like stuff like Pokemon and
Right.
Miyazaki and Akira. But like Dragon Ball Z is like a huge contributor. And my wife, we watch a lot of anime together, but she's never seen it. So we were like, all right, let's do this. It's goofy to watch it now after seeing like a lot of more mature anime, but it's still fun. It's still a lot of fun action, and it's cool to watch people fly around, fight, and shoot freaking energy blasts out of their hands. But yeah, we've been watching a lot of that. We've been watching a lot of Schitt's Creek. We're in the middle of season 3. Still good stuff.
Glad you got into it.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's just funny. It's one of those things where I think
is.
it takes a season where like most comedy shows do, to where you're like, I know these characters. And so when something funny happens, you're laughing immediately just because you know how the other characters are feeling at the moment.
It's similar to The Office in that way, isn't it? Where it's like, oh, Dwight, you silly old fool. That's great.
Exactly. You just see. So it's funny. Eugene Levy, and even his son, like you just see him and they have such good facial reactions. You just start laughing. They're just really funny at making you laugh just with their reactions. It's just, they're great. And it's a very funny show with great writing and great acting.
David always coming in like, what is happening in every situation?
Oh my God. It's just, it's great. It's really funny. Yeah, we're definitely in it for the long haul, it seems.
Yeah.
But I've been playing a lot of video games, really. Playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Not as much as my wife, though. My wife is loving this game. It's her first Assassin's Creed game. It's really mine in a way, because like I've played a lot of them, but I always fall off like quickly. Like I never really make it to the 10-hour mark, and so here I'm like going on 30.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think like There's something about some of them.
Which ones are you thinking of when you say that? Which games?
All right, so here are the ones that I've given a shot at, and it's not much of a shot, but Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Those are the Assassin's Creed games that I've played.
Oh, you didn't play 3?
No, I've never played 3. No. I've always been
probably
like
my favorite.
I've always been like, interested in the franchise. I'm like, yeah, this seems like it's for me, but for some reason this one is clicking, and it makes me want to go back to some of the other ones to be like,
yeah,
okay, now that I kind of feel like I understand this a little bit more, I might want to get into it. I don't know, but like, there's a good sense of discovery here still. And the story loop is really good. The story loop kind of has its hooks in me a little bit. I want to progress the story, where I think that might be something that's been holding me back in the franchise before, where I'm like, kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing, sort of, I don't know if that's fair though, but either way, it's got its hooks in me. It's very much just like, here's the loop. You get to England and you start making alliances, and you go to the different kingdoms, and then it's like a mini story. It's like a mini episode arc where you're like, okay, I'm involved in this story, but it's good. Like, usually I'm like, come on guys, get to some meat. This feels like all side story stuff, but no, they put a lot of attention into each of these kingdoms. Each of these characters feel fleshed out, where I'm like, okay, I care about this person's little world in this predicament that I've involved myself in. And to resolve it, it feels good. I feel like I feel like a sense of accomplishment, to where it feels like I've almost played a little miniature game within this giant big game that I'm playing. There's still glitches like nobody's business. Like,
really?
Okay.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's not like, I haven't run across anything that's game breaking. There's nothing that's happened where I'm like, wow, I'm stuck in a glitch, or wow, this glitch is really messing me up. No, it's just every now and then because most of the time I'm riding around or walking around and I'm like, wow, this game is pretty. It's so well put together. It's great. But then all of a sudden, something will just go wrong. And it sometimes it really most of what I've seen is around character models. That seems like it's always the thing with these games, where character models just go haywire.
Yeah. That's probably the worst thing I've seen in Cyberpunk.
Whereas character models will just go nuts.
They'll die, and then they'll be like, wing! Like, they'll just like hit the ground and then pop up and shoot across the map. It's like, okay.
Sometimes you get the feeling in certain games, like I'll play some games like Last of Us Part 2 and Spider-Man and other games where I'm just like, wow, I don't feel like I'm playing a video game sometimes, where I'm just like, this game is just perfect as far as like technically, but like sometimes in Assassin's Creed, like it'll just be like, I am just like, this world is like wanting to fall apart, like they're
Fallout 4.
Yeah, sort of like
being held together with spit and gum.
Like, it just occurred to me at this one moment, like nothing went wrong in the scene. It was a scene where a wedding happens and a character puts a ring on the other character's finger, and like it shows a close up of the ring, and like you see the ring shaking a little bit, to where it's like that ring just wants
tracking is not working.
That ring just wants to drag this character model's body down into the depths of cyberspace right now, and everything just explode. It's just like,
they accidentally wrote in that ring weighs like 100 times as much as it's supposed to.
This ring wants to sink into the depths of the earth.
Releases it, and they're just
exactly. It's just something about it. Like, okay, I ran into a really funny glitch. It's this. I just love this. I'm really liking this game. It's fun, but the glitches are hilarious.
Yeah.
Like there's this little kid who's in my village, and he'll like. I get missions from him and stuff, but every now and then he'll tell stories. And so he'll stand up, and some of the kids in the village will gather around, and he'll tell a story. And so I go and I like sit next to him, because you can like press a button and you can just like lean against the pole and listen to a story. And so I'm doing this, and then I see this little girl like who's just like walking around and like walks behind the character who's telling the story, and she shrinks like 3 feet when she's behind it. I'm like,
What in the world?
what in the world? And then then she goes out from behind the character and grows. And I was like, what is this? And so I stopped listening to a story, and the character, go behind the character, and I also shrink a little bit, and I stay that way for a little bit, and I start.
There's a shrink ray in his butt.
I don't know what was going on, but it was hilarious. I've seen it all, man. Cows flying off the ground, characters like doing the weird ghost thing where they slide lifelessly across the floor.
Oh Lord.
It's not constant, but I'll see at least something like every long play session. I'll see something at least to where I'm like, oh boy. But yeah.
Oh man, the old glitches.
Yeah, man. It's probably one of the more glitchy games I've played, but I mean, I generally don't play a lot of glitchy games.
That's funny. Like all the stuff I've heard, I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
But
They're there.
I guess the scope of these games is just so big that it's got to be harder and harder to get like enough test time in before Gold Master 30 hits. That you just miss a lot, I guess.
It's like, even though Ubisoft has stopped making an Assassin's Creed every year, it's still they're still coming out pretty quickly. Like especially taking into account how big these games are. That's really quick between Odyssey and Valhalla. Yeah. I mean, think was
it 2 years?
It was 2 years between Odyssey and Valhalla. I don't know if there are different teams working on them or what, but yeah, it's still very short.
That's insane.
That's insane. It's insane. And like, you see how like Ghost of Tsushima, that like their last game came out at the beginning of the PS4 generation. They took ages to craft that world.
But Cyberpunk's been going for 8 years. So
yeah, I mean, time isn't everything.
At least 8 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think more of these games just need to do closed betas. That's the only solution I can think of. Just release it to thousands of players, close beta, have an NDA, and let them go to town in that world and you know, get bug reports back.
Hey, there's a shrink zone behind this kid. You might want to fix it.
Yeah. This part sucks in your game, so you should put some work into it.
Take a look. So I'm playing a few games right now. I'm playing Yakuza. I'm trying to get into that game right now. It's one of those things where it's like it's so foreign to me. In many different ways. I mean, it's a Japanese game, like most of the games I play, but like it's actually in Japanese language. So, I have no problem with subtitles. A lot of the animes I watch have subtitles, but I mean, just because it's subtitles, it does demand a little bit more of my attention. You know, like so a lot of times I'll have a cutscene. I'll be, like kind of on my phone. I'm like, okay, I get the gist of what's going on. But when you have to read every single line of dialogue, you kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, it does demand a little bit more of me. But it's interesting. It seems like it's kind of up my alley, and it's an interesting game. It's on Game Pass, so that's cool. I'm still playing Nier Automata, making my way through that. Still weird, still a lot of fun, and a lot of weird.
What type of game is that? I've never understood.
Action RPG, heavy on the action. It's very, very cut 'em up, slice and dice, and shoot 'em up. It's interesting. It's very varied as far as the play style. You're either you can like hack and slash, but sometimes you'll go into a ship and it'll be like a twin stick shooter or an overhead shooter. It's very, very interesting. But most of the time but
it's like linear story in that way.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's missions you can do. There's a like quasi open worldish kind of thing where you can go around, do missions, stuff like that. It's fun. It's weird. It's like aesthetically, I can't make up my mind whether the game's ugly or not. Like, cause I like certain things, like the main character models look good, and the worlds sometimes look good. I mean, it's more of like artistic merit. It's kind of like almost something you'd say for a Nintendo game a lot of the times. But like the NPCs look like they're from PlayStation 2 generation. That's thrown around a lot, but in all seriousness, the NPCs look like they're from a PlayStation 2 game, like 100%. But the action's a lot of fun. The story's compelling. The music is phenomenal. Like probably some of the best music I've heard in a game. I'm like, golly,
Yeah,
this music's
I've heard that.
awesome. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying it. I'll definitely play through it and I'll beat it. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. How about you, man?
Very little.
Da-na-na, da-na-na.
We've been watching a little bit of Flight Attendant.
Mm.
I think we watched like one more episode. It's just, like I said, we've been busy with the remodel. So when the times when we do get to sit down and watch something is usually when we're eating. And there's just a few things in that show that, like, I don't know. Bethany was not comfortable while she was eating, doing it. Not that there's a bunch of like gross stuff, but then we also were watching The Stand, and there is a bunch of gross
There
stuff
is.
like pretty much all the time. So she didn't really want to watch that when we're eating. And so yeah, been watching that. It's a good show. I would definitely recommend it at this point. It's worth watching. Yeah, it's just, it's not like my favorite HBO thing that's come out, but I'd say it's right up there. You know, if like The Outsider was probably like an 8 for me, if I was just to throw a number at it, this might be more about a 7.
Okay.
It's not quite as good, but it's still high quality, good entertainment, well scripted, you know, good acting all around. There's so many of these shows I watch that are like originals on Netflix, on Amazon. I'm just like, you know, this acting is just not very good. And this story doesn't flow very well. And like Bethany was watching, she just started a little bit of that. I don't even know what it is, like Victorian era, like
it's the Netflix one, right?
It's on the like front page of Netflix
yeah.
right
People
now.
are loving that one.
She started it, and she was just like, you know, this is not that entertaining. I don't know. I don't know. There's a certain section of people that, you know, those people that made CBS the giant success that it is for all these years, and that why there's 400 NCISs. You know, it's not that that's bad TV. It's just not something I enjoy. I want a little higher level of like storytelling. I don't know. It feels like I'm putting people down. I'm sorry. You enjoy those shows, it's fine, but it's not for me. I think it's a little cheesy. I don't think the acting that great. I'm sorry if you do enjoy NCIS and whatever the freak this Victorian
Bridgerington romance is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she started watching that a little bit, and she's like, I don't want to make you watch this because I'm not even that into it, so I'm going to turn it off. So after that, we watched some Reno 911. Been watching that. That's just like the goofiest show ever. It's it makes the other like comedy shows we have talked about in the past, like Parks and Rec and The Office and It's Always Sunny. Well, I don't know. It's Always Sunny is an exception. That show's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Reno 911 is just, it's so silly. You have to like come there with like I'm not going to laugh all the time because some of this stuff is just so dumb, but there's enough in there to make you like, oh, that's silly enough that it's funny.
Yeah, this is worth having on.
Yeah, and it's also nice to just like go back to a comedy that I know I'm going to enjoy and not have seen all the episodes over and over again like those other shows. Like I know a little bit about Reno 911. I grew up where it would come on late on like one of the channels we got over the antenna, so I'd watch like a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a little kid, like not knowing if that was cops, if it was really a joke. I was at that age where it's just like, are they serious?
An impressionable time in your life.
Yeah. Why is that guy always in shorts? So yeah, it's all on HBO. So if you feel like a goofy time now that The Office is off of Netflix, you're depressed because of that.
Yeah.
And don't feel like paying for premium Peacock like me.
No. Look out for the sales. When the sales go on and you see it for $30 for the whole thing, jump on it. I got ours on Apple iTunes.
Yeah. Really need to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been watching some football. It's playoff weekend. The wild card was this weekend. So there was 6 games, 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. Some good games, couple good games, couple blowouts that weren't that good, but yeah, it's I've been working, so it was more on in the background. Got to watch what I could, missed some key plays, but I did get to watch some. Tonight's the college football national championship. It actually came on right now. I'm about to start watching it while we talk. And yeah, I always love NFL playoffs. Oh, I wanted to say, I know you don't care about this, but you might find this funny. So, the fantasy football championship was not this past weekend, but it was the weekend before, and I made it. It was me against this other guy from college that we know, Job, and yeah.
Oh wow, Joe.
So in the last like minutes of these like last games where we both had players playing, we both had like phenomenal weeks. We were within like 1 or 2 points, and for the longest time, it looked like the games were going to end, and he was
Yeah.
beating me by 1 point. And this is out of 250 points, Jordan. So this is like insanely close. And yeah, I was winning up until the last like 30 seconds of the game. And then like the one team, the Raiders, sent this guy in to score a touchdown. He ended up beating me by 2 points.
Oh man.
So I lost like 249 to like 251 or something like that. It was heartbreaking. So
No.
I came so close. Had a good year, but yeah.
Your season's
Shout
over.
out to CJ. Thank you for being our commish in fantasy football.
Good job, CJ.
But he should change the score so I win. The only other thing I was going to say is Cyberpunk. Just been playing that. But
How close do
I
you
haven't
think you
gotten
are?
much. I think I'm very close. I was actually listening to another show where all the people were going around talking about their experiences. They had just beaten it. And basically everything they were talking about I'd already done. And from what's happening in it, I think I'm pretty close. I've done a lot. Like I've just done a lot of missions. And it's not that long a game if I am close. I'd love to go to my like Xbox thing that keeps track of hours.
Mm-hmm.
If I was to just throw out a number, I'd guess I'm in the low 20s played,
okay.
maybe less. I don't really know, but you know, there's a lot left to do. I'm interested to see from what they were kind of saying, you know, trying not to spoil anything. It sounds like maybe things change after you finish the game, but I don't really know. So hopefully I'm still able to do all those side quests because I'm so invested in this world. Like I'd be happy to like run all those missions. It's a world I want to play in. You know, I've been waiting on this game for a long time. And if it weren't for all the work I'd be doing, I'd be playing a lot more of this game.
Yeah, of course.
It's just, I've been too tired, you know, at night. It's just, I go for 13, 14 hours a day. And it's just like, the last thing I can do is keep my eyes open while I play a game, but it's not for a lack of wanting to. So I'm really excited to keep playing it, but the little bit I have gotten to play, it's just a lot of fun. There's also an update to Call of Duty Zombies. So excited to, I need to download that.
They're throwing that out as like at least on the PlayStation Network, as like a free to play kind of thing for at least a while. I think I saw something pop up.
Warzone as well has had, they actually did a new map, which I think was a map from one of the old Black Ops games. Yeah, I think it was one of the zombie games, and they've brought it into Warzone as like a Warzone thing, so you can actually do Battle Royale on a new map, which is kind of a big deal because Warzone's been around now for going on a year, and this is the first new map that they've actually put. It's maybe 1/10 the size of the old map, so it's a lot smaller. But it kind of does this cool thing where they're doing these mini Battle Royales where the gas is already closing in, where you jump in, and I really enjoy that. The regular Battle Royale, honestly, it takes so long to develop. You have these parts where you're just like collecting weapons and kind of chilling, you know, and you end up with these campers. You go into a house and end up getting shot, and less of that happens when the game is moving quickly.
Yeah,
people are eliminated right off the bat, and it moves quickly. It can be frustrating, obviously, if you die, but I like that it's just like, okay, let's get the action going. Gas is already closing. You know, we're already on the first ring, and the second ring's like in 2 minutes or something. Instead of being like, okay, 8 minutes until the first ring, and then it slowly closes. Yeah,
yeah.
For those who play BR, you know what I mean. So,
yeah, I've tried a little bit of it in it was a while ago, back when I had the PlayStation 4. I definitely got that feeling of, wow, I've been doing this for a long time. Then, bam, I'm in prison or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I will say that Rust, if anybody's out there, that's like the big thing going on right now.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, I'm disappointed I don't have a PC right now to play it, but this is a game that came out in 2013. This is not a new game, but it's interesting that all of a sudden this has gotten all this. I don't know if maybe they cut a deal with some of these top, you know, streamers. I mean, that's kind of the way to get your game into the limelight right now is, you know, get Shroud or somebody on there, and instantly you have millions of people watching.
Big part of the market. Streaming.
Yeah, this is kind of game that I would definitely want to play. It's very like World War Z-ish, collect, looting, but also like shooting. Yeah, I don't know what the actual dynamic is. I know it's survival. I don't know if it's like you get eliminated or anything. And it seems very World War Z-ish, and World War Z may have actually taken that from Rust. Many people they stole the World War Z. It's like, dude, this game's from 2013.
Please.
It's an 8-year-old game.
Yeah.
Pretty sure they didn't steal anything from anybody.
Yeah, right. And the theft that takes place all throughout gaming constantly. You're going to complain about that.
They said a console announcement for Rust came in 2019 and it was expected to release in 2020 for both Xbox and PlayStation. However, COVID-19 has delayed that.
All right. Okay.
So
must be an extremely small team.
Maybe we're going to get it soon this year. Maybe.
Well, cool. Anything else you've been doing, man?
Just remodeling. So ready for a new bathroom and kitchen. We've had none of those.
What's the first thing you're going to do in that bathroom, Luke?
Oh, I don't know. Foul things.
You're just going to sit down and like, for no reason, you get like
just
a newspaper. You're like an old person on the toilet. Honey, get me a newspaper.
And a sandwich.
What sandwich?
And a coffee. No, I don't drink coffee. And a tea.
One in, out the other.
I will be in here for weeks enjoying this room.
Oh boy. All right, so this week, it's kind of like we're behind. You're not listening to like an old episode or something like that. We're just kind of behind it talking about this with like Christmas and everything and Wonder Woman. So yeah, we're going to talk about some Disney Plus stuff. I mean, first we're going to talk about some of the announcements that happened, and then we're going to have like a miniature spoiler cast for Mandalorian season 2. So there's so much here. I just kind of I'd feel wrong not talking about it. So it's been like almost a flat out month since these announcements were dropped. Like seriously, it's been a long time, but we just haven't been able to get around to it. So here we go. You can get our take a little bit on this stuff. I don't know. We're not going to linger on every single announcement because there's like a ton.
Today is a month. December 11th.
Exactly. I looked at the date of the publishing of this article. I'm like, yeah, a month. Holy crap. So here we go. Basically, this is just Disney's investors meeting announcement where they're just like, here's all the stuff we have going on. Bye. I make that sound like it was quick. It was actually like an hour and a half long thing. But anyways, here we go. So they kind of broke it down into like sections of their business: Star Wars, Disney, Pixar, and Marvel. So here we go with Star Wars. They talked about how they have 2 spin-off series that are surrounding The Mandalorian, which we'll kind of get into a little bit more once we discuss The Mandalorian. But the 2 are Ahsoka, which she's from Clone Wars. She was, in an episode of Mandalorian. And she will be getting her own TV series. That's probably the one I'm most excited about from all these Star Wars announcements. Maybe Obi-Wan, but that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Rangers of the New Republic. I don't know what this is, Luke. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't really paying attention during this one. Do you know what this one is?
No, I mean I'm just reading the list. I didn't actually get to watch the video.
I imagine like Bill.
I like the title.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I imagine it's like some of the like ancillary characters from The Mandalorian, like Bill Burr's character, and what's her name? Some of these like badass characters that popped up. So
yeah, I could see that.
I'd imagine. Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Sorry,
we've honestly always needed more Star Wars stuff.
Oh boy.
I mean, I hope we don't go into this place where too much is. I hope this remains high quality. That's always the fear with anything, but we have needed more. I mean, it's like, guys, come on. Like you've made movies, and EA's made what, 3 games now?
3, yeah.
4? 3 mainline games and Squadrons, which it's a lesser game, but Yeah, it's just like it's been a lot of years since that purchase was made, and I know it takes time to, develop stuff, but come on, like
Yeah, here it
there's money to be
comes.
had in them hills.
They heard you, Luke. They heard you, at least on the TV show
Yeah.
front, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if either of us are going to be interested in this. At least,
It helps that you now have Disney Plus too. So
oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where else before? ABC? I don't know.
yeah,
Star Wars: The Bad Batch is kind of a spinoff from the Clone Wars animated series. That's all I know. It's a bunch of elite defuncto clone soldiers. That's all I know.
our super fan of Star Wars and friend of the show, Danny
What's up,
Wagner,
Danny?
our buddy. Probably should have said his last name, but Danny, I remember him mentioning this to me. Like he was really excited about this. He knows this property well. He's someone who reads books, watches shows. Like he's a super fan of Stormtroopers specifically. Like he loves the memorabilia. He goes as Stormtrooper for Halloween. Like yeah, he's a huge Star Wars fan. So he was excited about this. So I don't know as much about this, but sounds pretty cool.
Cool. Thing I don't know is if it is.
I'm down for rogue clone Stormtroopers.
Yeah,
that just sounds cool.
I don't know if this might be a point where you can kind of just jump into that without seeing the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I'd imagine it might be, if it's like disconnected enough from that.
I would imagine that would be their goal, right? With any of these things, like
Yeah.
if somebody's flipping through Disney Plus, can they just jump in and be like, "Whoa, this is awesome"?
Exactly. Without having to have 7 seasons of another animated show under your
Without
belt.
reading the novel.
Exactly. Star Wars Andor. So this is based on Diego Luna's character Cassian Andor from the movie Rogue One.
Yeah, I remember them talking about that wasn't the end of the story for Rogue One, which is like, what?
Well, it is the end of the story for
Say
Rogue
that
One,
again?
but
What?
it's like before the story of Rogue One. So.
No, there was something I actually heard that they might pick back up, Jordan.
He survived under
ridiculous
the corpse of his friends or something.
Get a jetpack. Well, I don't mean specifically him. I mean, this is a prequel, but I'm saying like they were like, oh, there might be more. It's like, what?
Yeah. I don't know about this one. I mean, I like
that movie though. I mean,
I like Rogue One. I like his character just fine in that movie. I'm just like, sometimes when I'm like, that person's getting a whole show, it's one of those things.
Yeah. Well, you're looking for more content, I guess.
Here it is.
Draw from whatever you have.
2022. The Acolyte. So, this is, from what I can tell, this is set with like way, way, way in the past. That because they said it's the tale set in the High Republic era. What's the High Republic era is like their new kind of like it's the new era that they've been introducing through comics and novels, and now here we go with their first TV show, The Acolyte. It's like 1,000 or so years in the past, and so it's way before anything that we've seen so far. I don't know what it is. Who the Acolyte is, but that's the era we're looking at. Apparently, I mean, it's a dark side user. I don't know. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this, but yeah. So, did they show teaser like actual footage for all these things?
No,
or was it just logo stuff?
A lot of it, what it would be, they'll be talking about it for a while. They'd show with some of the stuff, some concept art or some behind the scenes stuff.
Right.
And some of them, they'd be like, now here's a trailer. But most of them, they'd be like, all right, now here's a trailer. And they'd cut to a countdown because it's only for the investors. And so somewhere, someone.
That is so awful. Why would you do that to people?
I'm here watching. I'm like, oh my God, here we. It's just the countdown. God. And so I think most of the ones, especially from Star Wars, a lot of these were just that. Wow. There was like, not a lot of actual trailers here. So just here this thing comes. Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's McGregor returns. It's so funny. People are so hyped about this announcement, and they like announced it in a hype way, and they're like, and Hayden Christensen will return as Darth Vader, and all the fans go, no, Luke, no. No, they don't. They are
No.
going woo, and it's so
Well,
funny.
they brought the wrong fans there.
No, it's like a weird thing with a lot of Star Wars fans. They grew up with the prequels and they're like, these kind of suck.
God.
And now they're nostalgic for it, so it's good again.
I'm not.
No, I don't
agree
really
with that sentiment at all.
The only thing that I'm legitimately think is good is Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm looking forward to that.
Sure.
But let's not pretend that we're all.
Who else are we going to get to play him though?
Yeah, exactly.
It would suck if it wasn't him, honestly.
Yeah, it really would. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend.
Recasting, especially when it's like a big universe like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to pretend.
Keanu Reeves didn't come back for The Matrix.
You're not the one.
Oh God, you're the other one.
It's like when that scene in Wonder Woman 84 when he's like, "Hey, it's me."
Oh my God.
Tune into the last episode.
No, it's not.
This one here that I'm about to say is probably the one I'm least interested in. A droid story.
Yeah.
Droids are always my least favorite.
You're kind of like
thing.
the Mandalorian when it comes to droids, right?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
I just don't trust them.
I don't trust them to give me a TV show
to
that
give
I'm
you
going
good
to
story.
I mean, I'm not
it's gonna be a Wally kind of thing, Jordan. You'll come around.
Like honestly, even
Probably
like the droids that most people like BB-8 and R2. Like when the camera cuts to them and they do something real quick, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cute. But then they'll just give them too much to do for me, where I'm like, enough R2, enough BB-8.
Those are not the lead characters you were looking for.
No, especially C-3PO.
You gotta give me credit. That was a good one, Jordan.
Yeah, these are not the characters I'm looking for at all, Luke. Thank you. That was good.
These are not the lead characters, exactly. Not the stars.
My friend Michael Crames, I shouldn't have said his last name either. Whatever. He
MK.
was MK Mortal Kombat. He was I'm looking to watch the Clone Wars because I want to know more about Ahsoka and I'm interested and I heard it's good and so I'm like, make me a list. Just tell me the episodes I can skip. That's what I want to know. I want to know the episodes I can skip. And he was like, "Are you interested in anything involving the droids?" I say no. So yeah. I will be skipping all the C-3PO episodes of Clone Wars.
Are we talking like fully starring him in the whole episode?
I don't know. It's not going to matter to me.
That's weird.
It's not like they're going to introduce a droid that I'm like, now that's, oh my gosh. Like they got close. They got close with K2SO from Rogue One. They got close to me. And I was like, I'm liking this. Yeah. But anytime we're like, oh, this droid's like cute, I'm like,
R2-D2 opening doors for Luke Skywalker is like the perfect balance.
Exactly. That's about as much as I want him to do too. Yeah, exactly.
Or like maybe like fixing his X-Wing or something. It's like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but when
that's what you want from a machine.
In episode 3, where he's like fighting these stupid astro droid, he pumps oil on them and sets them on fire and goes. Yeah. So I'm like, ugh.
Yeah,
that's all not for me.
Oh, well, there was a lot of things wrong with episode 3, but
yeah. Lando Calrissian is a TV show that's coming.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know either because I don't know. Did they say
Lando never was really developed that far, anyways, in Star Wars? Yeah. He's always kind of been this outlier. That yeah, I kind of thought when they brought Star Wars back, back at Force Awakens, I thought they would bring Lando in. I feel bad for him. Like so many people got some good work out of that. Carrie obviously got some good work, and Mark Hamill got good work, but Orlando.
He just shows up at the end.
Last one, and that was about it. Like, am I chopped liver? I guess we'd be saying if I was him. Like, come on, guys.
Look, sir. We will give you a TV show.
Great.
Yeah. Is it gonna be
one of a list of TV shows?
I don't. Yeah, no. Giant list right there with the droids. A droid story.
Honestly, like the whole thing. It says it's an event series. That makes it sound lesser than like a regular show.
Like there's 3 episodes, or I don't know.
This is an event. then it's gone.
Yeah, probably it's not going to be like seasons. It's going to be like here's 6 episodes and it's over.
I mean, he is getting kind of old, so.
Is it Billy
He
D
can only
or
do so much.
are we doing Donald Glover from so like the Solo era?
Did they not say?
I didn't really get an impression.
That's a good question.
I didn't really.
That is the right question, Jordan.
I remember after watching it being confused and not knowing, so I don't know.
I'll find out as we keep going.
Okay. Star Wars Visions. I am looking forward to this because you know me, Luke. I love this crap. I love this whole animated anthology story kind of thing where there's a bunch of different animation styles telling stories that takes place in said universe. I love the Animatrix. I love Batman Arkham. No, not Arkham Knight. Gotham Knight. I love Halo Legends. Like that stuff that I'm just like, I don't know why, but I love that crap. So yeah, give me that in Star Wars. Give me that in like everything, actually. That would be nice. But yeah, I what else can you say? It's going to be pretty cool, I think. They announced 2 movies, which is way less than I thought. It's crazy. They announced so many shows, but we have like 2 movies coming up.
Just to go back to the Lando thing, the project is still in early stages of development, and Lucasfilm has not yet provided nearly any details on the project, including whether or not Billy D or Donald Glover, who have played characters in the past, are attached to the project. So, yeah.
All right. Okay.
We don't know.
We don't know, and they
as
maybe
of
they don't even know.
December 10th, 2020. That was the day before this event.
Huh.
That's the wrong time to write that article.
Oh God.
That's weird.
All
so
right.
This one says, "Oh no,
go ahead.
Keep going." It just says they don't know basically,
Wow.
and I thought it was saying it's a Variety article, but like, will Donald Glover reprise this role?
No.
We don't know. What?
No one will tell us.
We know we don't know. We wanting you to tell us, Variety.
Look, we need to write an article. We need some more clicks.
Yeah, for real.
All right. Patty Jenkins is gonna direct a Star Wars movie. I think that was known. That was a known thing, but it's been said what she will direct. It's gonna be Rogue Squadron. So it apparently doesn't have anything to do with the video game. It just has the same name.
Yeah.
It comes out.
Doesn't that start throwing questions in your mind after seeing 84? It's like
100%. 100%. Of course. Why wouldn't it?
What direction you gonna go, Miss Jenkins, with this Rogue Squadron?
Yeah. Yet
it's gonna have anything to do with the video game?
I don't think so. I think they flat out said it wouldn't.
It's so weird to come out with a game with the exact same name.
It's like they only took the name recognition. We're like, hey, people know about Rogue Squadron. Let's make it that, but it's not gonna have really anything to do with it.
From this game that had a little bit of success.
Exactly. I don't know.
That's strange.
Let's.
There's a lot on this list. Let's be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm waiting next year to be a Star Wars Masters of Terras Kasai is the freaking fighting game to be a freaking TV show.
I wouldn't put it past them.
We don't know anything about this one. Taika Waititi is making a Star Wars movie, and it's coming out in 2024.
But let's be honest. That's the announcement we were looking for.
Kinda. I mean, I'm looking forward to that greatly, but
that's what I'm looking forward to.
Who knows what this is going to be?
That's what I want.
Or it's coming out so long. 3 years from now.
But that's what I want for my Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm obviously very excited about that. And
I want some Taika.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
I feel like he can add a lot of flavor to the Star Wars franchise, which I think that is something that is kind of missing sometimes. Where I could use a little bit more, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we feel, at least I feel so much like this is kind of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's like, where are we going? What's going to happen? Because the mainline, stuff that's been set in stone for so long with Star Wars has come to an end. Same thing with Marvel Universe. It's like, I don't know. It's going to be good, probably, but I really don't know. So we'll see.
We shall see indeed, my friend. That's it for Star Wars. We got a few more things to go through. I think with the Disney animation and Pixar, we're probably not going to spend as much time on, but I'll kind of go through some of it quickly. Raya and the Last Dragon is like Disney Animation Studios' big movie this year, and it's going to Disney Plus day one, the same day as theaters, but it's going to be under that
Crazy.
$30 premium access kind of thing that Mulan did.
No one will get it. Yep.
Probably. I plan on seeing this in theaters, if our theaters in town are open, because I'm looking forward to
I
this.
saw an article where Regal said that they were trying to open in March.
Okay, great.
So.
Hopefully it'll be with Raya and the Last Dragon. I'll be there because I'm very much looking forward to this movie. I don't want to pay $30 at home to watch it streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though if you didn't have Regal Pass, you might end up spending almost that much. It still doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I didn't bring this up in the review, so
because you also don't have that experience.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
Sorry,
it's okay. I didn't talk about this yesterday in our Wonder Woman review, but I wasn't pleased with the streaming quality of their supposed 4K presentation on HBO Max, and so I know Disney Plus is better, but I wasn't pleased by it. I thought it was fine.
I was blown away.
Oh, really?
I thought it looked really good.
It might be a weird thing to where certain like apps.
Because I was thinking about it, you had really put it in my mind, and I was like, wow. I guess they've upgraded, since Jordan was saying that, because I was like, this looks really good.
That's supposed to be the
CGI
first
doesn't,
4K.
but
Yeah, no, I don't think any pristine quality could fix that. But
yeah.
I think it just gets worse the better quality you have. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I want to have you over and watch mine and be like, does this look different?
Yeah, it might be a thing where Apple
the newer
TVs,
TV, maybe.
It's a possibility. It's like I watched Soul on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
looked great. I was like, this looks fantastic. I'm not thinking about it at all. Yeah. Very weird. All right, so that's coming out. It's one of those things. Next up, there's a bunch of series that are based on like pre-existing properties with Disney. So
just snatched right from the movie property.
Yeah. Zootopia Plus is the name of the show, based on the movie Zootopia. Baymax is obviously based on Big Hero 6.
You mean Baymax?
Yeah, exclamation mark is very important. Baymax. Moana. There was no like weird title for that, just Moana. This one, Tiana, which is interesting, and based on Princess and the Frog. Okay, so talk about these in a group. I'm very curious about these because so Disney's track record of saying here is the animated TV show version of whatever you got on the big screen has always been like this weird, like, what you'd expect, back in the day, back in the 90s, where you get the Little Mermaid TV show and Lilo and Stitch TV show. You're like, oh, it's like the movie, but the animation quality is 1/4 of what it is in the movie. It's like bad. But those are fine for the time. So I'm wondering if this is going to be like kind of what we've been seeing, like how the Mandalorian is like, wow, this is almost film quality. I wonder if it's going to be the same with these animated shows. I'll be curious to see, but yeah, it's like there's a lot of questions here because like there's pre-existing things like Baymax. There's already a Big Hero 6 animated TV show, and it's very much just here's whereas the movie was computer animated and very high quality, the show looks good, but it's hand drawn, and so I'm wondering, I just have questions about the animation, how that's going to be with these, but I'm cool. I like all of those movies, so I'm cool with
I would think with this budget that that won't be an issue.
I would think, and I would hope, but we'll see. All right, so okay. Interesting. They kind of combined Pixar here, sort of. All right, so we got a new musical, Columbia set musical called Encanto, music by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So cool, great, awesome. Looking forward to it.
Not a big surprise, really.
No, not really.
But good for him.
Okay, and this last one here is Uwaha. I might be saying this wrong. Uwaju. I
know.
Really sure.
I was thinking like Disney maybe should think about the names for these things in the American market, just because I don't even know how to refer to that.
Yeah, it's maybe one of those things where it's like I have to see the trailer and haven't heard, have it said to me first.
Uwaju.
Yeah, it's another one coming out in 2022 on Disney Plus.
What do they mean original long forms? Oh, long form. For some reason I was replacing long form with a long running series, and yeah.
There's too many
hiccup.
series. There's event series, limited series, mini series, long form series.
Just call it a series.
Yeah, that's kind of what we anticipate when we hear series. Unless they specifically want it to be 30 seasons long or something. Then yeah, long form would be appropriate.
They have a trailer on right now during the college football national championship for the little things. That's the long form trailer I hadn't seen yet. And that movie looks so good.
Yeah.
HBO Max. Really good.
They're killing it, man.
And there's some big movies coming out on streaming.
Oh yeah.
I'm so scared with the theaters.
Poor. Oh yeah.
That looks like a movie that like the theaters would eat up. It would be like a great, weekend multi-million-dollar.
Num.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what's
Keep going.
Buzz Lightyear. Or actually, no, it's called Lightyear, starring Chris Evans. Yeah.
This we've known about. Yeah. This is exciting.
It's funny because like there's already kind of been this a little bit. This is the origin story of the, in quotes, real Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
Who inspired the story.
The toy was based on. Yeah.
So strange. They are taking the Toy Story property just to. Oh man, they're doing a lot with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming next year.
So successful.
Oh yeah, so successful. So they're gonna keep milking that cash cow. Luca is about an Italian seaside town. I don't know anything else about this one. Turning Red follows a 13-year-old girl who is changing during puberty. Wow, this sounds like a Miyazaki movie. And also has the ability to transform into a giant red panda when she gets excited. This one must have really passed me by. I did not notice this one. I'm going to be honest. So I don't know. I don't remember this one. I'm going to kind of
looking up more info.
Yeah.
Strange.
I'm going to kind of bypass some of these Pixar ones. A lot of these are like Pixar shorts that they release on Disney Plus. That happens all the time. They're just constantly releasing.
It's going to be a Pixar feature film.
Wow.
That Turning Red.
Crazy. Oh, cool. All right, so let's move on to Marvel, and we'll wrap up then and talk a little bit about Mandalorian, because there's a lot of Marvel stuff too. Like, holy freaking crap! A lot of it's stuff we know about that they just release trailers for. Honestly, like WandaVision, that's coming out this Friday. With 2 episodes this Friday. I'm excited to watch this one. It looks really crazy, but yeah, bring it on, man.
We've been waiting on a lot of this stuff for a while.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna come at us pretty quick, it seems. Like, seriously, like January, March, May is when we're getting WandaVision.
This full year is just full of this stuff.
It's great. This is
all these smaller things.
Like, here we go. This is phase 4. Like, it's starting. Like, it seems like, okay, it's a TV show, but this is it. This is phase 4. Like, things are moving forward in the universe, and we get to see it starting this Friday. I think that's cool. Yeah, Falcon Winter Soldier in March, and Loki is coming in May. And at some point in the fall, we're going to have Hawkeye. So holy crap. That's 4 shows that are going to be coming out this year. That's awesome.
Yeah. About time.
Very cool. Also, I don't know if it's coming out this year. It probably is. The What If series. That's fun. I mean, obviously it's not really like phase 4 or anything like that, but it's fun little again, anthology animation, but starring the voice casts that we've come to expect, and just a little fun. Oh, well, what if, Peggy got the super soldier serum? There's a what if thing in the comics, and it's basically just that. So, yeah.
Whatever happened to the Black Widow movie? Like, it's all this other stuff is like announced, it's coming. I mean, WandaVision is here, and it's like, Black Widow, I know it got moved into 2021. It's like, if anything's ready, that movie's been ready. Like, come on.
I think there's a giant wait and see there. I don't think they want to release a day and date on Disney+.
They just spent too much money, I guess.
Yeah, I think they're just like, we're just not going to say anything. We're not going to start the promotion train and waste all that promotion money until
they had promoted it so much before.
It's crazy to go to the store and see all the toys, because when it comes to toys, they can't stop anything. That stuff comes. You can't delay the toys. It's so funny to see all the toys out there. Almost like spoiler territory, but crazy.
It says May 7th. Oh my gosh. So when you go to the marvel.com thing and you like scroll through the info, the release date says May 7th, 2021. The poster next to that says November 6th. Then the posters underneath that with all the ladies say May 1st.
Ah! Oh no.
There's 3 different dates. Oh, and then in Spanish, it looks like it's saying April 30th.
I wonder if
There's 4 different dates.
There must be someone out there right now who is collecting pandemic posters that are like just the several like posters for not Die Another Day. No Time to Die, like
especially if there were like
days.
edits later and like some characters maybe don't even come in that were on the original posters. Those would be worth some money later.
Oh yeah, I love it. So here we go into the stuff that's unannounced.
11
Marvel.
hours ago, there's an article that says Marvel boss talks possible Disney Plus release for Black Widow.
Oh boy, so here we go.
Oh boy,
who knows?
Kevin Feige.
Here's all the shows that have not been announced. There's a lot. So I'll try to be quick. Ironheart. Ironheart is a recent storyline of kind of a young girl who takes over the armor for Tony Stark.
Yep.
Cool.
That looks cool.
Very cool. Armor Wars. We're getting a War Machine show, basically. It's another Tony Stark's tech is falling into the wrong hands story. I'm fine with War Machine, but I wish it was kind of something else as far as what the story was. But
I've already done that
so much. Oh my gosh. Like even in other properties, people are getting a hold of Stark tech and like things like Ant-Man. You're like, oh my God. Anyways, Secret Invasion. This will star Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn as Talos, the Skrull. And basically it's just their undercover stuff, I guess. It's seems like it's kind of almost leading off of what was going on at the end credit scene for Far From Home. So cool. She-Hulk, we knew about that. Miss Marvel, I think what they did here is I think they announced the actors who are playing these people. I don't really know any of these people. Like Tatiana Maslany is going to be playing Jennifer in She-Hulk. And Iman Vellani will be playing Kamala Khan in Miss Marvel. These are relatively unknown actors from what I've seen. So they're basically just saying, here's the face of these heroes that you know. We're getting a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. There it is, man.
Yeah, I remember seeing that was coming.
Here we go.
But not until 2022.
That's crazy.
What?
It's interesting how long we have to wait for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That's pretty crazy too. The fact that it's so
Wasn't
far.
it supposed to come out like last year or something? Like the original thing.
It was, but
then like James Gunn got dropped by Disney, and then he started directing Suicide Squad, and now he got picked back up by Disney.
Yeah.
It's been passed around.
Yep. I Am Groot. I'm sure this is going to be just a real cute kind of thing, I imagine. I don't know. It could be funny.
There's so much here. There's got to be some duds.
There's got to be something where it's just kind of like, this isn't the same caliber, at least.
Oh.
Even if it is like, oh, it's kind of cute and funny, it's not going to be like the same caliber, I'd imagine. Now, there's not a lot here, but there's as many as, like, there are shows, but here are the movies that they announced. They confirmed that Chadwick Boseman's not going to be recast as Black Panther, but they're still going to go through with another Black Panther movie. I don't know what that means.
I know.
What
the heck? I get it.
Yeah.
But come on, like, so that just means like Black Panther can never do anything else.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't push the CGI too far. I really worry about that. Like,
we'll do that.
We've seen Mustache Gate, like, you know what can happen.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Mandalorian, but even here, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of shenanigans going around when you mess around with faces too much. So yeah, definitely don't do that. Oh my goodness. They talked again about Mahershala Ali being Blade. That we knew about that. Cool. We got a title for the new Ant-Man and Wasp movie called Quantumania. Wow, that is a title.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, man. We got King
Quantum
the Conqueror.
Zone craziness.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild time from the look of things. Okay, Kevin Feige confirmed that WandaVision and Doctor Strange will kind of like in Spider-Man movie are all kind of connected. So
That's cool.
when we see WandaVision, there's going to be implications for Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. So here we go into the multiverse.
I'm down for that.
Let's do it. And they announced that the director of the Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home, John Watts, will be directing Fantastic Four.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's...
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We've been burned too many times, Jordan.
I know. I am a glutton
Those
for
burns
punishment.
run deep.
Yeah,
I'm still scarred from that last one.
Yeah.
My eyeballs have not recovered.
Your retinas have been burned permanently.
Terribleness.
Yeah, I mean, I am looking forward to Fantastic Four, done by the MCU. John Watts, he's been doing a good job with the Spider-Man movies, and yeah.
They obviously don't need to recast Fantastic Four. I mean, we're set on characters. Eye roll. Insert eye roll here.
We don't need to do a major.
They haven't announced anything, right? Like,
no.
Who's going to be what? Or
no.
Chris Evans is going to be Flame Boy, whatever his name is.
Human Torch, Johnny Storm.
Human Torch, yeah.
Yeah, man, this thing has been like, they've been fan casting this thing for ages. Everyone wants John Krasinski to be Reed Richards as Mr. Fantastic, so that would be obviously awesome, but who knows? It seems like when things get fan casted too much, you almost like doom it to never happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those weird things. That's pretty much it, man.
Dave Bautista still needs to be in the Gears movie.
Exactly.
That's the epitome of a fan cast that I feel like they're not going to let happen just because of that. And
no, you want it too much.
It's got me so sad.
That's funny, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see, but I'm very excited to see Fantastic Four done by them. But who knows when's going to happen? All we got was a logo, which is, hey, that's more than we can say for Blade. I think. I don't know. Yeah. It's going to be ages.
I think there was a logo, but
okay.
What purpose does that serve?
It's a logo. It's a logo.
You heard of this guy Blade? Well, here's his logo.
Here's his logo in a different font than the Wesley Snipes movies.
That's a movie that I'm so surprised it hasn't been rebooted till now.
Blade?
Because those are really popular.
Yeah.
In their day.
They helped jumpstart all of this. I think we have Blade to partially thank. Blade, X-Men, Spider-Man. Those are the three movies that have really propelled the superhero movie genre. I mean, seriously.
And the vampire revolution of the early 2000s.
Yep.
Blade kind of headed that off.
Definitely. And I think Mahershala Ali is just this A+ actor. You can't really ask for more. So
yeah, he looks the part too.
Absolutely. So that's
very Blade looking dude.
Exciting. So yeah, that's everything. Holy crap. So to wrap it up, we're gonna give our impressions of Mandalorian here. We're not gonna bother with avoiding spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's good, right?
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. You can watch it though. It's good. It's good stuff. You won't regret it. So
it is.
Yeah, I mean, how did you feel about this season in general, Luke? Like, as far as how it compared to the first, and I don't know, how do you feel about it?
It definitely took everything up a bit. I think there was almost too many things going on, too many characters and new things. But I think it could, tie in later and be really fun. I mean, I'm excited. I'm glad they opened up some new avenues, but honestly, I'm a little confused. There's so much stuff about the Mando planet and the kingdom and the throne, and that was a big thing at the end, and I'm just confused. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a big enough Star Wars fan, but I'm just what? What are we talking about? Why do you need the shadowy lightsaber to reclaim the throne? I don't know. I didn't quite get on board with that whole thing. I think what was it called? The shadow saber?
Dark saber.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, obviously it was just the coolest weapon I think in Star Wars ever, but I was very confused by the end episode. It was the Luke Skywalker thing obviously was really cool. It got spoiled for me, and that was unfortunate. But and the CGI was, I don't know, it was fine.
Yeah, a
You
little
know,
questionable, but not
it
ruinous.
was it was. I mean, it was as good as I guess I can expect them to do. It's it's a very hard thing to ask. So you always like say like, was it worth it? You know, but it was a cool idea. I don't know how well it ended up playing just because of CGI. You know, it was just tough.
Hey,
So
better than Cheetah.
yeah,
I'm gonna
well,
stop making digs at that
not
movie.
saying a
I'm gonna
lot.
stop.
So yeah, the season overall I think was really cool. It was just, you know, the adventures of Mando. It's just, that's what it was, and that's what the show is kind of established. And you know, he's going around, he's taking this like convoluted route, you know, because he doesn't really know where he's going. He's just like trying to figure it out. He's like, I don't know what this guy is. I don't even know what species he is. I'm just trying to find a place for him in this world. And you know, it's just, it's more of similar stuff to what the first season was and what was so enjoyable about it. You know, so many likable characters, and Mandalorian as this kind of like rock solid centerpiece to the whole show. And they just kind of took that and they went a little crazier and a little more adventurous with it. And yeah, I think that was all good. I think it would have been nice if I could have like kept up a little bit with like what all this stuff with the other semi Mandalorians, whatever you want to call it, like the lady clan of Mandalorians,
Yeah.
which were really cool characters, but I didn't really understand what she was talking about. I don't know. Maybe I've been doing too many other things, but it was a little confusing for me. But
Luke, no, that's not
maybe
it.
Maybe it'll be cool in the end.
No, I mean, okay, so yeah, I have had many a talks with our friend. We already mentioned him, Michael, where he is a very big fan of the TV show Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And so he knows all
Super fan, Michael.
about Mandalore, Bo-Katan, Ahsoka, Thrawn, and the Darksaber. I've gotten an earful. Actually,
Yeah.
I've appreciated it because it kind of does help me out. But he
Yeah.
has explained to me.
We all don't have a Michael though.
No. Or the time to watch 7 seasons to fill you in. But yeah, I think they do an okay job of being like, here's this person, we explain some of it, but here we go. But with all that, it just seems very confusing at the same time. I agree. And there is a lot of like side quest building where it's very much like I felt it. I was like, are we getting a series with these people where like they'll be like, hi, I'm Ahsoka and let's go on an adventure. Where's Admiral Thrawn? I'm like, okay, we're getting a series.
Yeah.
We're getting a series.
Yeah.
We're setting it up. You can kind of just feel it where you're like,
yeah.
what?
And she had such a small role too that it was like, this feels very introductory. And the way she was like such a part of the beginning of the episode, and then Mando came in, it was very much like, okay, they're definitely setting her up here.
Yeah. And I think this, though, with all that being said, I think this has been a fantastic season. And yeah, it's like, I think Star Wars fans like it's like, I'm a casual Star Wars fan personally. Like I haven't seen all the like animated shows. I don't dig into the lore like crazy, but I like Star Wars a lot. I like the movies that come out, and as far as being the first TV show that I've seen based on Star Wars, I feel kind of spoiled, and I can only imagine how like super Star Wars fans feel. Like I hear them freaking out, being like, "Oh my God, thank you to the creators of the show." And so they are freaking out over the quality, and I get it, man, because this is quality stuff. Like it is sort of like getting a movie every week when this show's going, you know,
Yeah.
like. I was like, holy crap, that first episode where they're fighting the crate dragon, is that what it's called? I don't know. But when they fight
Was that the first episode?
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
When it's like Timothy Oliphant and
Yeah,
they're
that
like,
was a big one.
yeah, and when I'm watching it, like I have relatively big TV, but like when it changes aspect ratios and you can tell, oh, it's IMAX cameras, holy crap. And it does what it wants to do because it looks big. It is almost like, this is crazy that this is a TV show. It is like in that kind of arena, and where I'm like, episodes like where they were doing that chase on the one episode where they were they had to go into that Empire facility, and they saw like some of the
Hmm.
they were attempting to make clones, and they were getting chased. I was like, this is big. It would have been one thing if they just did the
Yeah.
ground chase, but then when they took to the sky, I was like, this is so
Yeah.
good. This is awesome.
CGI has reached a whole new level.
Yeah, and
We are no longer in Once Upon a Time level CGI for TV shows.
definitely. Oh my
It's
god, don't
crazy.
remind
The
me.
evolution has been so fast.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Even like Lost, like we thought Lost looked good, but
Oh
like
man,
it looks terrible compared to what they're doing now in The Mandalorian.
100%, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the quality of filmmaking here, and the quality of the special effects and all that stuff. It is even with all the quality stuff we have now with like Game of Thrones, and I mean we had at least
Yeah.
man, to be impressed by TV like this much, it's hard to do, and I'm impressed. I'm damn impressed. This is good.
I think the next evolution is going to be the like popularizing of just small indie films that can put in great CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
just small budget people with like their iPhone where they can like insert like great looking effects. That's going to be the next thing. It's going to be like, oh man, it's going to just open up such creativity to small filmmakers to make some amazing stuff. So
That's the
really
great thing
cool.
about CGI. I mean, some people, the debate over practical effects and CGI will rage on and on, but one thing will always be true: it's going to be a lot more accessible and a lot less expensive
Yeah.
the more CGI evolves. Whereas
Mhm.
practical will always be expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, can't say enough good things about the production quality of this thing. Any big standout moments or episodes for you where you were like, this is cool?
Phew, I mean, so many. I mean, the Crate Dragon was really great. The episode where, what is the name of those three like lady Mandalorians that he like
Bo-Katan.
teams up with?
Bo-Katan's like the main
Um,
one. I know her name, and I think it's just like her team. That's all I got.
when they like take over that ship and then it's like going straight down into the water. I thought that was such a cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the effects look so good, and yeah, they were really good characters. I think some of those ladies are from like wrestling, is what I've heard,
Oh, really?
which is cool. Like that, I thought their acting was pretty darn good, and of course, like the wrestling, like they have the bodies to like do those amazing effects, and
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like a lot of them maybe were doing their own stunts there. Not they just did a really good job. But I would guess if they're wrestling stars, all those people do their own effects. So I think that's awesome when somebody can do their own effects and do the whole Tom Cruise thing where it's like you're a great actor, but you're also like really
Yeah.
good at the physical action. And yeah, I thought a lot of the physical action. I mean, the last episode, it just was so good. It's so cool that they brought everyone together, and there's just all the going back and forth between what the Mandalorian's doing and what that team of people are doing.
It's worthy of noting, you mentioned it, Katie Sackhoff is the one who plays Bo-Katan in something that Michael filled me in on. That's the character, that character is in Clone Wars, and basically they modeled that character to look like Katie Sackhoff because Katie Sackhoff actually voices that character in that show too.
Yeah,
which is
I think I knew that. Yeah,
that's
awesome.
That's fun. You don't see that very often where you have that much parody with the animated series. When it's translated to live action, you don't see that very often at all. So that's crazy. Something that really stood out for me is the episode where Bill Burr's character returned. I forget his name, forget the character's name, but when they're undercover kind of as stormtroopers or whatever they are, not really stormtroopers, but the scene where he's seeing his old commander and they're at that table and the Mandalorian has his mask off. And they're just having that tense moment where he's like, yeah, I served under you. You let a lot of people die. That stood out to me as something being very... Mayfeld. Thank you. That was bothering me. That stood out as being something very different in a Star Wars anything, where I'm like, this feels like really good. Like really like kind of almost like there's like real aspects to it, which you just don't see this sort of thing in Star Wars very, very often. Like you get such like, I don't know. Like you could see that being done, but it wouldn't have been done with that much nuance as far as the writing and the acting went. I just thought it was a very cool moment. I'd like to see more stuff like that with the animated series, like smaller moments and these character moments you don't get very often in Star Wars. That was really neat.
Yeah, that whole part where they're like invading that facility and taking that mining like vehicle down the road and being trying to be hijacked by the pirates or whatever they were with the detonators, that was really cool.
Really
And then the
cool.
whole thing, like when they're in there and then he ends up shooting the captain, it's like it's just a cool ending to that whole
Yeah.
thing. It's like the last thing you kind of expected in that moment.
It was like that episode was like an Uncharted mission or something. Like
Yeah.
it was really awesome.
I was thinking, like, why does he have his helmet off the entire time?
Yeah, you know,
I
you put it
guess
back
it
on.
didn't end up making any difference.
No, not really. um, the the one episode. Shoot, I'm lost for words here. Completely lost my train of thought. But gosh,
I couldn't agree more.
yeah, absolutely. I'm 100% right on this.
There's so many good episodes, though. Honestly,
They're
it's
all
like,
just great.
there really wasn't any episode at all that just wasn't good. It just,
No.
some were better than others, and for me, the ones that had more action were better. Just,
Yeah.
just because that's kind of what I came to see. I was a little, I'll be honest, I was a little disappointed by the whole Boba Fett thing. Um, you know, he was fine. He just felt like another character, though, and I don't know. I guess because I've heard Boba Fett talked about for so long over all these years of being alive and talking to other people about Star Wars, it builds up into your head into this like, unobtainable level of like, oh, Boba Fett, like he's this legendary bounty hunter. He's not really a Mandalorian, but he wears Mandalorian armor. And
That's perfect for what Boba Fett is. Boba Fett showed up in these movies and he's just a bumbling fool in like that in the actual like original trilogy, but he has really cool armor, and then like he has a bunch of cool stuff that happens in novels, and now that he's here you're just, I don't know.
I guess I want him to be really awesome, but yeah, it's more than he really is. That's just I just like the idea of Boba Fett and the bounty hunter and Mandalorian armor. It just sounds so cool. Honestly, what the Mandalorian is in this show is what I want Boba Fett to be. So I guess my mind just needs to change.
Well, we're getting a whole show for him to show his mettle, show his Mandalorian armor.
Yeah.
The book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. I don't know.
You like that when he came in?
I think I'm going to end up enjoying the Mandalorian more.
Yeah, maybe.
But I really like Pedro Pascal, so that might be part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's done like Boba Fett has been in beloved movies looking cool. And we've had 2 seasons of Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian being consistently awesome. And so we're just gonna like him more at this point. That's just kind of the hard truth. We're just like, yeah, I kind of like him, Mando, more at this point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that happens when you have a great show backing you.
Yeah. I guess we should talk about the last episode. We talked a little bit about Luke. Should it have been someone else, or do you think Luke was the right choice as far as the Jedi who showed up?
I always wished I wished it in the last 3 movies. I always wished Luke had played more of a role in the whole story. For me, Star Wars was always the story of Luke. He was just always my favorite character, like from the first time I ever saw Star Wars, I don't know how else to say it other than just I've always wanted Luke to play more of a role. I wanted him to do more in these final series. I wanted him to help Rey more than he did. That's one of the reasons I was so disappointed with what was it, The Last Jedi? No, not The Last Jedi, right?
Yeah, The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. The Rise of Skywalker was the final one. That's right. Okay.
I know this.
Yeah, I wished I was so frustrated by The Last Jedi. It felt like it put Luke down, and and I know that's not exactly what happened. I know we can have a whole philosophical debate about what Rian Johnson was doing with that movie, but I don't really want to have that debate.
Me neither.
I have my
I'm
opinion,
so
and screw
over
you.
that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
but but my point is just that I've always looked at Luke as like this, like just majestic person in the universe, and it
Yeah.
just, he had so many rough edges, and he wasn't perfect in so many ways, but that's what I liked about him. He had all these doubts, and he had fears, and you know fears lead to the dark side, and all these things, but it's like that's what makes a good hero, and that's what I liked about Luke, and it's what I liked about Rey too. But I've always felt like Luke was he was the one that, like, Ben talked about when he was talking about Anakin.
Mhm.
That's how I always felt about it. It was like that savior that Obi-Wan wanted Anakin to be was really Luke, and I always wanted him to, he did, but I wanted him to rise up even more. So I think it's cool that he got this part to be like, he's here. He was here at this. So this was after the Return of the Jedi. Is that right?
Yes.
This took place after that.
Sometime after Return of the Jedi.
So yeah, I like the idea that he did more than what we just saw in the Return of the Jedi, which was awesome. Those movies were great, but yeah, I don't know. I wanted him to be like the head of a revolution, more like Carrie Ann Fisher did. Like after he did what he did to like take out the Emperor and take out Darth Vader, it just like I wanted him to do even more. But we never got more movies back then, which would have been cool back when Mark Hamill was a younger man. That's part of what limits it, obviously.
Of course. Yeah, you have to bring in CG Luke, which
yeah,
it's one of those things it's like your eyes like kind of do this weird like inspection when when you absolutely know. I think the best example of this sort of thing where I'm like, this is flawless, is when they did Rachel in the Blade Runner 2024. Is that the year? I don't know what year it is, but
yeah,
that was flawless. I couldn't believe it. I was like looking at it, my eyes were like inspecting every inch, and I'm like, how do they do that? And so like, but most of the time you see it and you were like looking at, especially when they talk, when the mouth
hold together,
moves.
hold together, please hold together.
Like the ring from Valhalla.
Definitely when they talk.
When they talk, I feel like that's why they made him be very much like stoic Luke, like the Luke.
Very stoic.
Yeah, you don't want to give too much expression. That we're gonna have to try to animate that or whatever they do, and so it's very much he's looking for your permission or whatever, like that sort of stuff. Instead of having him do
Somebody
anything,
else speaking for him.
Yeah. They're trying to hold the puppet together. And so for what it was, though, it was cool. I thought it was really cool. The X-Wing flow by and we're like, oh boy. And then the green lightsaber, oh boy. And then he's freaking wrecking.
My wife's just like, who is it? Just tell me already. I'm like, you don't recognize a green saber?
Yeah, it's like he'd have a green saber
it's
at
like,
this point.
No,
Sweet.
Who is it? Like, you'll see soon enough.
Yep. When he ignited that green saber, But
I mean, honestly, who would it be?
Exactly. There's only a few
There's
options.
not a lot of people.
Yeah, and it would all be deep
with that
cuts.
timeline, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly. It'd either be like Cal or whatever from Fallen Order, or some character who was in Rebels apparently. And so I don't know. And I think it would be one of those weird things where people
so much less recognizable.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Who's that?" And
you don't want that.
Yeah, you want it to be like a sweet moment for everyone to enjoy.
The cheering moment in the theaters, but people in their living room.
Great moment though when he takes off the helmet. It's very nice, very sweet, very heartwarming. The whole goodbye.
Are you okay with him taking off his helmet several times in this season?
I'm very okay with it. That final moment. The question for me is, should he have those other times? And I don't know.
No.
For me,
I go with no.
Yeah, probably not. But at least for me, it didn't really lessen the impact of him taking off the helmet. I thought it was a very good moment.
I think it would have been cool if it had waited until that moment. I think that would have been better. But
probably. I think so. As it is for me, it's probably one of the most emotional moments in a Star Wars movie, which they're not known for being the most like emotional kind of like moments in movies. But that was very nice. I really appreciated that. But yeah, they're off to to do more Clone Wars stuff, I guess, that you and me might be scratching our heads about.
Hopefully Jon Favreau typically is good about like helping people understand what's going on.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go way in the weeds, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, is that going to be the crux of future Mandalorian? Is this stuff that's going down on Mandalore? There's going to be some
I assume so.
disputes about who's going to
Assume
rule
the throne.
Yeah, right. There's
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of assuming the throne as Boba Fett blows away Bib Fortuna. Is that character's name? Who's letting himself go a little bit at the end there.
Yeah, it's weird that Moff Gideon's like gone now.
Is he? I mean, he was alive. He was very much just like, now you two have to fight.
But didn't he get shot? What?
I
remember he goes to shoot her and I thought he got shot. Or actually does shoot her.
I don't remember what happened to him. I think he's still alive. I think it's been a long time since this actually aired. Again, we're late, so some of these details are a little muddy.
Yeah.
I don't really remember Luke, actually. He could be dead. I don't know. But I apologize for that horrible...
You don't remember him getting smashed into a pile of body parts?
Him going into the trash compactor? Anyways, yeah, looking forward to whatever the show brings. It so far has just been an not uphill climb, shoot. Upward trajectory. I don't know. It's only gotten better, I think. In my opinion, the quality has risen, continued to rise. And so what I noticed was like I haven't had too much of like, even though I've been enjoying the show constantly, I think I've criticized it a little bit where I'm like, don't have that investment where I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? I felt a little bit of that. That last episode, when he's fighting Moff Gideon, I felt nervous. I was like, oh my God, I don't know which ways this is going to go. I felt a little bit nervous. And so I was invested. The show got me towards the end where I'm like, I really care about what's going on. I care about these characters. This teary-eyed goodbye is very, very touching. I'm invested. And so can they do it again? Because this is kind of the end of this arc.
Definitely. That's a big question, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a different show a little bit,
Yeah, definitely.
And you know what? Them letting go of Grogu, I think that was a good choice. Stop it at its peak.
Yeah.
It is at its peak. Don't let this crap get old.
People may be disappointed in that, but yeah, there was no good way to end that story that people weren't going to be like, no.
Luke, can you imagine the gnashing of teeth at freaking Lucasfilms about this merchandising with all the Baby Yoda, all the Grogu, all the child stuff that's out there? Man.
Nobody's going to call it Grogu. I'm sorry. No one's going to call him that.
I know.
It's not it's not fitting for that tiny little green guy.
Maybe too little too late as well.
Yeah. The child and Baby Yoda has sailed at this point.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, man, to let that one go, man, that had to have been some arm twisting from Favreau and the gang.
Gotta do it.
Yeah, it's the right thing to do. That's our episode, boys and girls. It's a long one. A lot of stuff to go over, but we missed a few things with all the busyness. So
yeah, you did indeed. Hopefully I will have played some more Cyberpunk because I want to finish that game.
Beat that crap.
Apparently there's a secret ending. I found that interesting to find out. You have to make certain choices with Johnny Silverhand.
Oh, goodness.
And if you make those choices correctly at the right points of the game, there's a secret ending. There's apparently like at least 3, maybe 4 different endings. So that's really cool.
Yeah, replay value.
I don't know if I'm going to replay the entire game just to do
4
that.
times.
I probably will just YouTube it, but it's cool that it exists. I like that your choices matter in RPGs. I think that's one of the most important things for them. Because like I want to be building a real character, so
yeah, you want to feel that all the choices you've made down the line have some repercussions. For sure. Well, beat that crap, Luke. Report back
Yep.
to us.
I'm excited. I love that game so much.
Sweet.
Ready
well,
for more Mandalorian too.
Yeah.
Whenever that comes.
Whenever that comes, indeed.
2 years from now or something.
Yeah. So much down the line. It's hard to believe that it's continuing, but it is.
It says Jon Favreau, creator, 21 episodes, 2019 through 2022. Did you know George Lucas is in the writing credits for 21 episodes? The same number as Jon Favreau? I did not know that.
I guess, does he forever have writing credits just for creating this world?
I think so.
Just to be like, oh, you mentioned an X-Wing. That's George Lucas.
Could be. Yeah.
I mean, he's forever.
That'd be crazy if he really was in on this.
Yeah. Yeah, he's enjoying a martini right now at this very moment.
Probably.
He's not writing crap. Well, he might be.
Yeah.
Who knows? But anyways, guys,
I hope for his sake he's staying busy.
I hope. I'm sure. I hope he's staying healthy, staying active. Doing
He's
some
got credits for
crossword
all this
puzzles
stuff that I don't think he's got anything to do with.
away. It's Lucasfilms, but he's just chilling.
All the stuff we just mentioned, the Star Wars, Taika Waititi, and Rogue Squadron, Indiana Jones.
He is right now on a diving board about to dive into his money bin, like Scrooge McFreaking Duck.
You mean me money bin?
Me money bin. Exactly. All right. Cool. We'll see you guys next week. We'll do some other stuff. Probably talk a little bit about WandaVision. Excited. Very exciting. More Marvel stuff. Woo!
Yep.
All right, then. I'll see you next week.
See ya.